I do a lot of things that onlookers might feel seems pretty weird as an entrepreneur. This video is going to dig into some of the weirdest things that I do that the power of entrepreneurship has given me privilege of. My name is Sheena, and I'm a registered dietitian that has been in private practice for the past decade. And if you're interested in getting started with your private practice, definitely click that subscribe button. Okay, so the first thing that I do as an entrepreneur that some people might find a little weird is I never take weekends off. I always plan my time off over weekdays. And the reason why is this is going to give you so much of your time back. So, the reason most of us want money is so that way we can have more experiences with our time. Or give that money to somebody else, such as a child, pass that on, or a family member that can utilize that to invest in their own time and well being. Nobody wants to make money because they just want to watch that money sit in the bank. So we can do a lot of these things almost right away as an entrepreneur, which is pretty cool. And so one of the biggest ways that I take back my time is by working weekends rather than weekdays. Let's talk about all the things that you can do that are going to save you time. So if you're going to the grocery store on a weekday, Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. versus a weekend day, trust me, you're going to be out of there so much faster. You're not going to be running into other people's carts. There's going to be hardly anyone around, and the lines are going to be much shorter. The traffic commute is also probably going to be a lot less. So you've saved a lot of time there. You can do things like, hey, I'm going to take my kids to the amusement park on summer break on a Wednesday. Those things where it's going to be not only cheaper to go to the amusement park, but there's going to be a lot less people and a lot less traffic. So you're saving all of this time, potentially money, because everybody else does everything on the weekends. So that's just something that I really love doing as an entrepreneur is just really reorganizing my time to maximize it in ways other people don't have the privilege of doing. You might get some weird looks doing this, to be honest. So one of the weirdest things that I heard recently is it was on like a weird political debate, and somebody was doing like a peaceful march or something along those lines, and the comment was, it's Tuesday at 2. This person must not have a job, which is why they even have time to go out and voice political concerns. And I thought this was really interesting. I know that person was probably taking a jab at people that, were maybe more misfortunate or not having jobs, which fit their political agenda. And this isn't about politics, but it's just really interesting. The picture that we paint about people based on when we expect them to be functioning in a traditional job and what that entails, and how people presume wealth should be generated or money should be generated. So I just thought that was really, really interesting. Another really weird thing I do, I don't watch TV. I actually have not owned a TV in 20 years. So some people think that that is really weird, that I don't just go buy a TV. I also think they're really ugly. I also am a total minimalist, which we'll get to next. I don't have time for it. And in fact, I think it's really funny because when the TV first came out, that is what the people argued against producing the TV is no one would buy it because they don't have time. And I feel that so hard because while I have time, it's not something I want to use my time doing. Like, I would so much rather be doing something creative for my business, playing the guitar, going dancing, literally anything than watching TV. And I don't know if that is from just not enjoying it. I used to not enjoying it, or just recognizing that my contributions to the world can be so much cooler and greater without a television blaring. I can't even hardly watch a show now, guys. Like, it's so boring to me. Not to say you gotta go get rid of your TV or anything like that, but that's an option. Less screen time, more life. Next really weird thing I do, I haven't used an alarm clock in probably 10, 15 years, something along those lines. I don't need one. My body has its own internal clock. My body knows what it wants to do, and I spend every single day listening to my body and what my body wants to do. By the way, fun joke that I have is I do whatever I want whenever I want, and that is pretty much exactly what I do as an entrepreneur, you guys. Now, it takes a little bit of time to master this skill, but this is exactly what I do. That's another really cool perk of being an entrepreneur is if I want to get in the car and just drive across the country, which I have done on the whim, like within a half hour notice. That's a long story, but yes, I've had to do that. Just get in the car, drive to Texas. I barely packed a bag and I bought stuff on the way there, which I like to do that a lot actually. Just kind of get stuff on the way there, just bring a carry-on bag, etc. That's just like a fun little thing for me. You don't have to be weird with me, but that is the getting in the car and just going. That is a real privilege that I owe to entrepreneurship because I would never be able to do that without all sorts of things happening in a previous life. So that's another huge one. Just get up and go. That is also one of the big privileges that I have is my daughter lives in Savannah, Georgia. She is almost 21 years old, and we see each other at least every couple months because we're constantly just going around the country with each other, right? Like we met in Nashville for the conference last year. So she comes on my business trips, which by the way, that's also a tax write-off for me to visit my daughter. She came on the business trip. And then we're going to go to Vegas pretty quick here. So anytime I want to see my daughter, literally can just jump on a plane or jump in the car and just go see my daughter. So that's a really cool perk too. That goes alongside with my next thing. The next thing that I do is I am an extreme minimalist. Now, this, I want to be very clear, comes from a place of abundance versus scarcity. This is something that I've practiced for many, many years and feel that it is an extraordinary privilege to have. Has nothing to do with being frugal. I hate the idea of being frugal, actually. I hate the scarcity mindset where it's, I don't have enough money to buy something. So I just own as little as possible. Hate it, hate it, hate it. In fact, it ends up costing you more money, and there's all kinds of things with that as well. I don't believe there is any place for scarcity mindset in business, but the abundance of minimalism has changed my life. Now, this originally started because I kept having to move and go cross country and things like that. And I wasn't able to bring a lot of stuff. True story. Once moved across the country and lived like that for an entire year with just a duffel bag for one for me, one for my child. And yeah, it was the most liberating experience of my life because minimalism also allows you to do whatever you want, whenever you want. Get on a plane. Okay, no stuff to bring. It's great. Now, this is something that requires a lot of training and you have to be very intentional. But the reason I love minimalism so much is because every single thing that I own is what I think is the best thing in the world. Like, I only buy the best stuff. I only buy what is physically appeasing to me. I replace things quickly if they are broken or don't serve some type of very specific function for me. Every single thing that I own, I truly love. Like, I love every piece that I have. Also, it really helps in entrepreneurship because I'm not constantly scanning a room, seeing a bunch of stuff on countertops, things like that. All that busyness in your eyeballs and in your brain really can kind of cripple you, especially if you're kind of that perfectionist mindset where you're like, oh, gotta clean the house, gotta wash all these clothes, gotta get, deal with all these things before I can do my work. It's really going to disrupt that creativeness. So even if you don't want to go full-fledged minimalism, don't own a TV. So total minimalist. And it's not to say that you have to be a minimalist, but just remember less is always more. And this is true for anything you're doing in business. Niching down, always going to make you more money. Having less items that you truly enjoy and have spent a lot of time and energy picking out that thing. That's always going to be really beneficial in enriching that life and saving you that time and truly giving you that experience. So that is one privilege that you can have as an entrepreneur, but not saying you have to. be minimalist. Another thing that goes alongside with that is I do not celebrate holidays, haven't in 10 years. In fact, my proudest parenting moment was when my child said, Mom, what month's Thanksgiving in? Because we've just never celebrated it. Now, I know some people love these holidays, and that's great. If you truly do love it, you don't feel exhausted during these holidays, you're spending time with family. For me as an entrepreneur, if I want to see my family, I just do it. That's another really cool thing is I have coffee with my 75-year-old mother every morning. And then my father is a musician, so he frequently plays on the weekends, and I will travel all through the state to go see my dad play the guitar. So these are other privileges as well. So when folks are like, oh, well, don't you want to see your family? You must hate your family, etc. No, I don't at all. It's just when I want to see them, I just do, which is very, very frequently. And I spend a lot of time with all my family, huge family, all my sisters. I have 5 sisters, a brother. I see them all the time. I see them more time than anybody probably wants to see their family, to be perfectly honest. So I am not missing anything by not celebrating a holiday. But what I am getting back is all of that time that would be invested into celebrating a holiday, which I don't personally see any point of. So everybody has their own reasons for celebrating, and you may love that holiday, or it may be a religious thing that you're doing, which is amazing. If that is something that you are doing in abundance and it is adding to your life, awesome. For me, that wasn't the case. And so entrepreneurship gives me the privilege of going to see my family any time of the year that I want to, doing whatever I want. So I don't have to be obligated to this specific time when it's honestly incredibly difficult and expensive to travel in order to experience family time and the abundance in my life. So I know that's kind of a weird one, but that is for me something that has just been incredibly powerful as this thing I get to do in my entrepreneurship. The next thing is I am a social dancer, and I plan my entire week, months, all of the things around my social dancing schedule and events. This means I am traveling all over the state. I live in Washington. I travel all over the state to do dance events. And I make any appointments, anything that I'm doing for my business, wrap around it. A lot of stuff that I do, I can also just kind of take with me to these dance events. And a lot of times when I am traveling for work, such as conferences or I'm speaking somewhere, I am able to dance with part of that expense being a tax write-off, which is super awesome. That's one of my favorite things to do. In fact, sometimes I just won't even schedule anything unless there's dance events attached. So those are some really cool things that I've gotten to do as an entrepreneur that we don't think about enough. And sometimes we as entrepreneurs just kind of take these things for granted. A lot of times, you guys, I don't even really know what day it is. I lose track of time a lot. Unless I have an appointment on the calendar, which of course I check every day. I just do whatever I want whenever I want. Pretty much, you guys, like I just do it. If I want to travel across the country, get in the car, I just go. And it's amazing. It's not stressful for me at all. Entrepreneurship gives us so much privilege. Our story is always going to be a little bit different based on, what we're doing in life, if we've got spouses, children, etc. But a lot of these things, can still be done with children. When I first started my business when I was 22 years old, it was a high fashion clothing store. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, you guys. I just brought my daughter to work with me. So problem solved. She didn't have a lot of daycare, anything like that. I got to spend so much more time with her, etc. Working in a business like dietitian private practice or doing some type of digital sales, etc. You're going to get even more freedom with your children and family members, etc. Kids might be a little upset if you take the TV out of the house, but other than that, all these things are opportunity, and I'm sure there's opportunities that you want as well from starting this private practice that goes so far beyond that monetary freedom. But that monetary freedom also enables us to have just this incredibly rich life. Like I said, I do whatever I want to do. I'm never in a rush to get anywhere, you guys. Like that's actually kind of like the motto of my life is I just don't rush, even if it's traffic, whatever. More opportunity for me to listen to music because I don't have to be anywhere almost ever. Very few things are urgent, and that's the freedom that owning a private practice gives. I hope that you found this information helpful. If so, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing with a friend.